Welcome to this episode of the Golden Moment podcast. My name's Mijo Biscan. This episode is called It's All in the Long Game. So in the last episode, we talked about the power of small habits and how they can transform your day. And one of the things I talked about was this idea of trading actions that we take that serve us in the short term, but they kind of screw us over long term, and instead focusing on actions we can do in the present that actually serve us in the future, in the long game. So this view of thinking about the long game, it clearly doesn't come naturally to us as humans. And it's why we have so many issues in the world. Most of them stem from this inability to sort of factor in a future calamity or the future consequences of things that we're doing in the moment. And as humans, if we can't feel the effects now, we just don't care about things that we don't feel the effects of right now. And we're happy to sort of delay those things until we get really sick, or we're really sleep deprived, or our relationship falls apart, or any of those things happen. So, on an individual level, we're making this choice all the time that we are either deciding between eating a handful of strawberries or smashing a donut. And one of those, for most people, is going to be far more pleasurable now, but it's going to cost us later. And the other one is going to be probably maybe a little bit less pleasurable now, but it's going to allow us to live a more healthy, energetic, vibrant life. And even as I say it, it doesn't sound like it sounds like a hard sell to have us focus on making better choices now in order to have something in the future. So in the last episode, I shared some of the bad habits that were kind of taking me out. I was drinking too much, I was staying up late, I was eating bad food. And these were all things that felt really good in the moment of doing them. There'd be a rush from doing it. There'd be some instant pleasure that was very easy to access. But then it would leave me kind of with this very tired, grumpy person the next day. And I wouldn't be able to do my creative work. And then I'd feel regretful. Then I'd feel bad. Then I'd, eat half a punnet of ice cream and stay up late because I needed to feel good again. And then this kind of vicious cycle continued. So there's that list of things that I was doing that weren't serving me. And then I started to implement these more positive habits of going to bed earlier, getting up in the morning, going for a run or a walk, drinking lots of water instead of coffee, deciding to do my creative practice even if I didn't feel like it. And these two lists are really very different. So one of those lists feel good in the moment, but don't have the payoff long term. And then the other one is more difficult to do in the moment. It's a more difficult choice to make. Yet I felt happier, I felt more fulfilled, I felt more energetic, I felt more optimistic about the future. And it was a really important shift to make. It was kind of like I started living a different life, a life that I was enjoying being a part of. So the same thing goes for anything that I was trying to achieve. So if I was focused on how things were going moment to moment, just this short-term view, then it was a really tumultuous ride, because in writing songs, if something wasn't going well in the moment, I would just think, this is bad, I don't like this, so I need to now have a cookie and a bit of a lay down on the couch. But if I was to take the long game into perspective, then I would feel the discomfort of that songwriting, and I would sort of say to myself, well, yeah, this is a bit uncomfortable, but in the long game, I really want to do this thing, and this is really like central to what I want to do. So I'm just going to stick with this a little bit longer, and then I'm going to move through this, and then I'd come through to the other side of that creative challenge and that discomfort, and then it would feel amazing. And a similar dynamic would happen with exercise. And even to this day, I still feel resistance to doing exercise, even though the habit is in place and it's in my routine. And then I just think about the long game. And I go, okay, this is a bit uncomfortable now, like going for this run or having to go for this run. But I know I'm going to feel good, 20 minutes later when I come back. And also, this is something that I want for my future self. I want to be more healthy. I want to be energetic. I want to be vibrant. All of those things. So now that I think about the long game a lot more, it really helps to trump the decisions the bad decisions I would normally make in the moment. So this way of thinking has now spread through all areas of my life. So it includes exercise, but it also includes relationships, how I might talk to someone, knowing that I care about this person and I want to have a vibrant relationship with them down the track. That prevents me from, losing it and saying things I might regret. Also, in releasing music, that if I release a song and maybe it doesn't resonate the way that I would hope, it's not the end of the world, because I look at the long game and I realize that's actually a really positive, important step to take. And it's going to be one release in a series of releases. There's this bigger context for what's going on, and that, again, it makes for like that smoother ride through life, knowing that not every moment has to be absolute bliss and I have to be comfortable in every moment. So this is a kind of focus on the consistent action being taken and focusing more on the process, being less attached to each moment being perfect, and realizing there's a bigger story happening, and that the process helps me to focus on all the things that are good for me long term and is far more satisfying than stuffing my face full of chips at 2 a.m. after watching 7 episodes of some dumb show. Even though that's awesome at the time, it ends up robbing me of the future that I want. So how do you go about figuring out what the long game is for you? How do I do it? So I got my priorities in order. It took quite a process to really think through that and design the things that I wanted. But when I know what's important to me and I give it more weight, it makes it much easier to forego those instant pleasures and allows me to really go for the big win, the thing that I ultimately want, the dream that I'm, building on each day. So in the next episode, I'm going to share with you how I sort through all the things that I could be doing in any given second to ensure that I'm doing what my future self will high five me for. So I hope you'll join me in that episode. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this one. There's a transcription of this episode in the show notes if you want to check that out. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up, rate it on iTunes and Stitcher, leave it a nice review, share it with friends, post it on social media with your own insights, and please leave me a comment below. Doing any or all of those things really help the podcast reach more music lovers. So thank you very much. If you'd like to get a free download of 5 of my best songs, you can head to mijobiscan.com/freemusic to get a limited edition, personalized and signed CD of my latest album, Golden Moment, which comes with an instant download of the digital album and artwork as well. You can visit mijobiscan.com/GMCD. Thanks for listening. Stay golden. Stay well out there. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.